What's the difference between a climber and a rambler pragmatically?
Okay, a rambler is a type of climber. And of course, this is funny because roses aren't truly climbers anyway. We
Right.
call them climbing roses, but they're just roses that are vigorous enough for us to fasten up to something, and they look like they're climbing. And so a rambler is, originally the American Rose Society had a kind of a definition that it was a rose that, a climber that didn't rebloom. And that they decided not to use that terminology at all anymore. They've completely changed it. And most ramblers are hybrids of a wild rose. And this actually shows characteristics of two different wild roses, Rosa multiflora and Rosa vicarana, the one I told you about with the shiny leaves.
Right.
Okay, this has rather shiny leaves, but it also has another characteristic right here, these little fringes on the stipules that show me that, you see the little fringed stipule? That shows me that it has Rosa multiflora in it. And so this comes from, this is probably, if I look back I use the term rambler to just include any of these roses that are vigorous enough to treat like a climber and have either a parent or a near ancestor that was a wild rose or a species rose, they're called. So it's not everyone defines the term in the same way. And ramblers were popular around the turn of the 20th century. And they were used for all the fancy garden structures that they had then. People had arbors and trellises and things kind of like we do, but they were fancier.
So it's not really an official term, ramblers?
No, it's not anymore. It's just in common usage. And it's one of those terms, well, you'll know it when you see it.
Okay.
It's not an official botanical term, and it isn't an American Rose Society term anymore. They would say hybrid multiflora, or hybrid vicarana, or hybrid suliana, depending on what the wild parent was.
Gotcha.
And but there are some roses that just refuse to fall under any of those categories, and that you still think that they're ramblers. Rambler is just a good common term to use. And if you say rambler to any rose person anywhere in the world, they'll know what you mean.
Okay, so it kind of is, it's just not a...
It's not official. Yeah, it's just a commonly used term among rose people. Rose nuts.